We are hitting a critical point for the NASDAQ 100, and I think that we also have some other critical moments. Tesla, Nvidia, Bitcoin. I have a penny stock for you, BBAI, yesterday. 30% is one that I talked to and also share with my community. That community, by the way, the link down in the description for the Patreon, and click that sign up and head on over to the Discord. You can see my technicals and my buys and sells over there. In my community, I talked about BBAI. We had a few huge moments yesterday hitting 30%, and it is possible that's not quite done running yet. So we're going to take a look at those technicals, plus I'm going to hint onto another penny stock that I'm going to be dropping the technicals for over at the Discord, available before they hit YouTube. So make sure that you check that out. And if you guys want to do these technicals yourself, you can find a link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. We'll talk more about that later. In the meantime, let's pop this up here. We're going to kick things off with SPY. So tracking the S&P 500. So when we're looking at this for the S&P 500, well, right now, in the pre-market, 605, almost 606. You can see right here we have resistance, an area of resistance around 609. Up above that, 628. If we can get up above these trend lines and finally take that run up above that 610 number, we'll call it, for the top of this area of resistance that's up here. So we want to look for that. If we can get up there, we have a few more percent that we can put on before we hit some more fairly critical resistance. That big moment that I was talking about in the NASDAQ 100, we have this critical resist right around 520.06. Pre-market, we're actually up above that. If we can get up above that for resistance, we have about another 5.5% that we can put on. We have a nice free rise area up above that. So if December proves to be bullish enough, maybe even a little bit of January, February, we'll see. And now, mind you, some of that could go with some economic reports that are outside the scope of this video. In any case, we actually have a pretty nice moment that could be coming for us. If we can get up above 520, there's not a lot that's happening in between here. So I'm going to keep on refreshing those technicals. I just started rebuilding those this morning. I'll share them out over at the Discord, available through the Patreon, link down in the description. IWM in a free rise area right now, but still having a little bit of trouble. Honestly, I think this is one where we got to rely on those economic reports coming out. Non-farm payrolls and unemployment, I think, are going to be the big catalyst that we have for the IWM to the upside or downside, depending on whatever we get from them. Strongly positive for the economy, for the labor market, for lower interest rates. We're going to see a strong upward movement, a lot of upward pressure on IWM, tracking the Russell 2000 stocks. If we get strongly negative news from that, leaning towards recession or the Fed holding up those rates higher for longer, that's something that could be downward pressure that we want to be watchful for. And we are up on top of a bullish channel right now, which in and of itself isn't so much of a bad thing, but IWM does tend to sell down once we're up this high within that channel. So just keep that in mind. Nvidia fighting with this area of resistance right now. And if it does open up today up at about 141, almost 142 in the pre-market hours, that would put us on top of 5 in the 13 EMAs. That the RSI is actually just over 50 as well. So this thing turning bullish on us, as I said, whatever drawdown that we would experience, being that we're above the 50 and 100 days, could be something that would be very short-lived. So maybe we've already seen that moment and now we start to rise back up. What we're looking for there is to see where that next high comes in. Are we continue to put in higher highs and higher lows, or are we going to get a little bit of a mix? We actually had a little bit of a lower low with this candle that was back here, but lots of buying pressure we found put us back on top the 50 EMA and SMA, which I said would be a bullish thing. We would see the price continue to rise back up after that point. So getting on top of that 20 days, this blue line that's right in here, let me put that away. That's the thing that we want to be watching for, is that blue 20-day, which right now is around 143, just shy of it. Bitcoin is in a consolidation pattern. I have it highlighted here with these big thick rays for you. Need to get up on top of that. Blasting out the top of that is going to give us that $100,000 mark for Bitcoin. And I think that we still have, with the momentum cooling like it did, I still think that we have that moment coming for us. I think it's going to happen in the month of December. We're going to have to see up above that 107,822, up above that 121,246. We're going to have to see what sort of run we get out of this. Now, mind you, if what we're seeing is a bullish pennant coming off of this, then that would point more towards the 121 side of things for Bitcoin, which would be a significant climb from where we're at right now. About a little over 20% is what we'd be looking at. So let's move on from there into Tesla. Tesla yesterday. Let me put this on here, stretch that out, and we'll drag it down so you can see this. This 350 mark that we have, we were actually found support at it again, pre-market hours up above it. This is still giving us that shot at 384. That's what we're going to be looking for, but we got to get over this selling pressure that we keep finding between 350 and 360. Popping up above that 360 is going to be really important for seeing further upside. BBAI, look at that big pickle from yesterday. Look at that big old climb. Massive volume should be good for today for seeing further upside. 298 is where I have that resistance. And I've been in this since south of $2. I think my initial purchase was at $1.77. And so for this penny stock, Big Bear AI, this is one nice massive climb yesterday. Look at that rising momentum, that rising volume that we have. We are seeing it getting into the overbought territory, so we need to be careful with that. But with such a big move on very strong volume, we could see some further upward pressure on this over time. So we'll watch that. We'll see what's going on with it. I do have one more for you, and I'm going to save the technicals for right now. Let me just tell you that BEAM, B-E-E-M, is one thing I'm going to be sharing the technicals over at the Discord, available through the Patreon, link down in the description. When I put out the information on BEAM, the penny stock, and it is dropping like a rock right now, I do think that it could have a massive jump up, but there are some things that we need to be watchful for. And as I fill out those technicals and finish them up, wrap them up, put a bow on them, I'll put them out to the Discord, to my community members. And if I make any purchases surrounding that penny stock, which I think could have a huge moment sometime in the near future here, it will land there first, and then I will bring it to YouTube. And so going to Discord first, it really helps you. If you're looking for an early opportunity, that would be the place to find it. If you guys want to learn to do these technicals yourself, you can do so using the link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. Click that, sign up, get access to the technicals and the bread recipe trading strategy, which is a strategy that I use myself for detecting when moves are going to happen to the upside, to the downside, being able to use options plays either way. There is a code word DOCTOR, D-O-C-T-O-R. That discount code is going to give you a massive discount. Tons of testimonials coming out all the time talking about the success people are having with the bread recipe trading strategy. I can vouch for it myself. Stockmo uses it in his live trading on his channel. Go ahead and check it out. Use the code word DOCTOR when you sign up. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.